back. What is happening, everybody? What's going on? So good to see you. I missed you last week. Are you good? Everybody good? We healthy? We safe? We comfortable out here? Hope family's well. All good things. Enough of the pleasantries. That rhyme. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Superpower Man of the Hour here. Welcome back to the courtroom. Welcome back. Court is in session. Let's get right into it. It's time for the verdict. Let's do this. Okay, we're gonna be talking about what we've been talking about for the last few weeks on the show for a while now. She-Hulk. Yeah, that's right, She-Hulk. So I'm not gonna really get into spoilers for this one. I may or may not. If I do, I'll give a spoiler warning. You know me, I'm an honest man. But we're just gonna talk about it. Episode 7 dropped today. Obviously, you know that I film on Thursdays. If you didn't know that, surprise, I film on Thursdays, comes out on Fridays. So I just got done watching She-Hulk episode 7. I'll talk about episode 6 a little bit as well. But for the most part, I'm going to be talking about episode 7. And then next week, I won't do a She-Hulk review. The week after, I will, because that'll be the season finale. But you knew this already. Anywho, let's jump in. She-Hulk episode 7. And I'm wearing my periodic table of Marvel. So, you know, dress for the part you want, right? So let's talk about it. She-Hulk episode 7. We open up with this episode. Jennifer is getting ready for a date with this Josh fellow that she met in episode 6. Fine. I guess I should talk about episode 6, and I'm gonna get into episode 7. Okay, we're gonna start with episode 6. Here we go. So, episode 6 starts out. If I can remember correctly. Episode 6 starts, we see Jen doing her thing, yada, yada, whatever, right? She gets this invitation to be a bridesmaid at a wedding of her friend from school or something like that. So she goes to this wedding as She-Hulk. She shows up, people are checking her out. Ooh, look at you. Hey, girl, She-Hulk, right? And the bride-to-be, whose name I forget at the moment, if you remember, drop it in the comments below. But the bride to be is sort of just like, you can't be She-Hulk at my wedding. Like, who do you think you are? What are you doing? This is my wedding. This is my day. This is my time. Turn yourself back into boring old Jen now, pronto, do it, hurry, right? And Jen's like, okay, fine, whatever. It's your day, your wedding, whatever. I won't do it, right? So she turns back into Jen. So no She-Hulk at this wedding. That's the rule, right? Now, the B plot at the time in this episode is Jen's friend Nikki is working with the lawyer colleague that helped Jen get her pseudonym back, the She-Hulk name, back from Titania, whose name in the show I'm forgetting, but I could never forget the amazingly talented, the beautiful Miss Renee Elise Goldsberry. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Angelica from Hamilton. I mean, come on. She's not just, I know that's one of her big roles. I know, obviously Hamilton, Satisfied, whatever, right? But obviously she's done other things. She was in the show about Five, like the Fab Five or something that's on Peacock or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. If you follow her and you follow her career, you know what show I'm talking about that she was just recently in. It's like a comedy on Peacock. Drop it in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. Some of you do. I know you do. But anyway, she is in this show as well, and she is helping out Nikki, or Nikki is helping her out with a case about this dude who is basically immortal and has faked his death so many times to get away from so many different partners, whether male or female. He's got one male partner and the rest of them are female, right? So that's the B plot, right? And so as we're at the wedding, we discover that Titania is a friend of the groom, or a friend of the bride of the groom. I don't know, but anyway, she shows up at this wedding, right? And she shows up obviously to mess with Jen. And whole side note, I know you see it, leave it alone. Don't ask. All right. If I go to the comments and what you actually talk about is this right here, just leave it alone. Acknowledge it and then move on. Okay, thank you. Anyway, is life, y'all. I'm an adolescent. I like chocolate. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't I can't help it. Anywho, so back to the show. Titania shows up at this wedding, and Jen's like, "Yo, what in the world are you doing here? Like, you can't be here. Like, this is off limits." And Titania's like, "No, I'm just here for the wedding. I don't know what you're tripping about." Right? So now that element is at the wedding, right? We see that going on. And so Titania is. Did I just spoiler? Well, spoiler. I guess Titania shows up at the wedding. I think by now you should all know that if I'm going to talk about a show, it's most likely going to be spoiler filled. If it's a movie, maybe it may be different. But anywho, so yeah, Titania shows up, right? And Titania shows up. Now she's at the wedding, and Jen sort of got to like be Jen will also worry about Titania, so that's interesting. Her cousin is there DJing the wedding. She meets this dude named Josh at the wedding, right? We will talk about Josh later. Josh shows up at the wedding, and I think he's a friend of the groom or something like that. And I thought this was funny. So I thought that one of the dudes, so because every bridesmaid has a groomsman, right, to sort of pair up with, right? That's how it works. How a wedding works. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been to one in years. So Jen's like, "Where's my groomsman?" Right? And her friend is like, "No, we got you covered, bro. Whatever." In my head, I'm thinking it's old boy from a few episodes back who was only interested in She-Hulk and not Jen. So I'm thinking he's gonna show back up. That's not what happens. She gets paired up with a dog, like a for real Chihuahua. He might be a Chihuahua mix, but there's Chihuahua in this dog for sure. So yeah, I'm like, okay, he's probably gonna come back, make an appearance. That'll be awkward. Nope, it's a dog. So yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, she's talking to this Josh dude, and he's talking about Jen and how great she is. And Jen's like, oh wow, he doesn't care about She-Hulk. This is great, awesome, yay, whatever. So Jen gets drunk as Jen, right? Because she can't be She-Hulk, so she can't be not drunk. And she has to go and handle her business outside. And as she's handling her business outside, Titania with a right cross out of nowhere, just completely out of nowhere. I thought that was dope. And so they get throw down into this fight. Jennifer's drunk, so she can't really and Titania's like, "Would you just turn already? This isn't fun. Just trying to beat little old you. This isn't ridiculous. Like, come on, figure it out." And Jen's like, "Fine, whatever." So Jen turns, and they have this big old fight. Jen wins, obviously. Titania is all butt hurt. She walks off, storms off, yada yada. And then there's a whole big dance party with She-Hulk, with Jen as She-Hulk and the whole wedding guests and everything like that. And her friend comes in and sees the whole thing goes down, and Jen's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but she was right, one of those kinds of things. And her friend, clearly drunk, was like, "Oh my gosh, She-Hulk at my wedding, yay!" Right. So now Jen's become a party favor. And so that's basically the gist of episode 6. Nothing special. Oh, we do learn in the B plot after they resolve that case with the dude who keeps faking his death. Nikki and Angelica. I'm just gonna call her Angelica because anyway. Nikki and Angelica Schuyler find this website that is basically like this Kill She-Hulk fandom. Like, Kill She-Hulk, how do we kill She-Hulk? It's just basically a bunch of trolls, bunch of haters, one website. And Nikki's worried, and she's like, "We should tell Jen." And Angelica's like, "Nah, leave her alone. Let Jen live her life. She doesn't need this. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever. They're trolls." And Nikki's like, "Okay, fine. But y'all know Nikki. If you've seen the show, you know Nikki. She's going to say something," which she does. She says something, and now Jennifer knows about these psychos on this website. Move into episode 7. Josh and Jen are hanging out. They go on 3 dates. They're having a blast, everything like that. After the 3rd date, they go to a certain place. Okay, right? And after that, Josh ghosts Jen. We don't know why. We're like, oh snap, he just fell off the face of the earth. And I called it too. I was like, yep, he's gonna be gone, and we're not gonna hear from him for the rest of the episode. And that's exactly what happens. And so that happens, and so now Jen is occupied and distracted by that whole thing. Why you're not texting back? Yada yada. And then she gets a call from Abomination's parole officer that his inhibitor is going crazy. So she's like, "Okay, I'll go out there with you to protect you." Right? It was one of those whole things. So Jen goes out there with the parole officer, and we realize that Blonsky's fine. He's not doing anything that he shouldn't be doing. He's not turning into Abomination. It's just weird thing. There was a really, really weird comedy explanation as to why the inhibitor was going off. So we learn. So after that happens, Jen's car gets trashed by some dudes that are at Blonsky's retreat. Because remember, when he was getting out, he said that he wanted to start this wellness retreat, which he did. And so these dudes crash Jen's car, and she's like, "No, I can't get home, and I have no service." And grr. And Blonsky's like, "Well, hang out with us and do all that stuff." So Jen hangs out at the thing, not really wanting to be there, trying to find service in the best place possible. She stumbles upon this like ranch area, safe house thing, and it's a group of goons. Yeah, I mean, it is a group of goons, but it's a group of guys, and Blonsky, and they're all sort of like just sitting in a circle, like AA, talking about their feelings and stuff. Not that you talk about your feelings. I mean, you may talk about your feelings in AA. I've never been to AA, so I wouldn't know, but I don't want to assume. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so they talk about their feelings. And Jen is just trying to be there to get service, of course, but then something entices her, and she's sort of like listening on the side, selectively, and then she realizes that one of the dudes that attacked her in one of the episodes earlier on in the show, like episode 3, I think, right? One of those dudes is at the retreat, and she hulks out and is like, "I'm about to kick yo behind," and she proceeds to do so. And everyone's like, "Yo, calm down. What are you doing?" And the dude's like, "Yo, wait, let me explain." And Blonsky's like, "Yo, hear him out, blah, blah, blah." So Jen sits in the circle. Now Jen is a part of therapy. And she's, they're going through the motions, talking about her feelings. And she talks about this whole, the Josh guy and that whole situation and yada, yada, and whatever, right? And so that whole thing happens. And we don't really see much else happen in the episode other than that. Like, there is no subplot, there is no B plot. No Josh Segarra in this episode again, which not fun, but whatever. And so that's really the whole gist of that episode, is sort of just Jen accepting herself and accepting She-Hulk and Jen and balancing them into two, and realizing that, she doesn't need to only be She-Hulk or go after people that only appreciate She-Hulk or go after people that only appreciate Jen, blah, 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 that whole thing, whatever, shebang. Right. So the episode ends, not with a post-credit scene. It sort of ends the show, but it's not a post-credit scene. We find out that after Josh and Jen slept together, Josh copies the details and all the stuff from Jen's phone with his own phone, and he's talking to the Hulk King from way back in episode 3 that was associated with the dude who was at the wellness retreat that tried to jump Jen. He's associated, he's in that whole group of thing, and he's in that whole group of Hulk haters, right? And I guess he's working for them, and he's trying to get them to, he's trying to help them get Jen's blood somehow, some way, whatever, right? So I don't know. It's all a whole mess. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know what this is going to look like. We only have 2 more episodes left in the series, episodes 8 and episodes 9. The only other Marvel show that ever got a 9-episode order was WandaVision, and they did that masterfully. And the last episode in the series, episode 9, was 50 minutes long. So unless She-Hulk is planning to go that route and make the last episode almost an hour long, I don't see how this pans out. Honestly, I'm intrigued. You have 2 episodes left to do it, and so far you've used every single episode in the show as filler and comedy and no real substance. We still haven't seen you-know-who, which is interesting. We've seen his mask, but we still haven't seen you-know-who, which is interesting to me, because I'm thinking at this rate, it's probably what we've seen from the trailers and stuff is probably just a post-credit scene at the end of the season finale, right? That we get. I hope that's not the case. But if it is, I wouldn't put it past Marvel. I'd be disappointed, but I wouldn't put it past Marvel to, sort of shortchange us like that, because they've done it in the past. You know what I'm saying? But I trust Marvel. I trust Marvel. Those are my homies. Those are my boys. Those are my guys. I'll never talk bad about Marvel, and it's not just because I want to play Miles Morales live action in the future. But just throwing that out there in case the Russos or Kevin Feige or Sam Raimi or old dude who directed the Spider-Mans, John Watts. Yeah, if y'all are listening, if y'all are watching this, which you probably aren't, but it'd be really cool if you did. I'm available. I'm not doing anything. Let me know. Hit me up. The Celly is live. Ain't nothing happening on this. I probably shouldn't have showed the world my broke Android. Let's move on. Don't talk about it. So yeah. I mean, episode 7 was episode 7 was better than episode 6. I'm not editing that out, by the way. You're just gonna see that fumble. But yeah, episode 7 was definitely better than episode 6, but it's not saying much. kind of a low bar ever since episode 3. The first 2 episodes were solid, really good. And then episode 3, and then from episode 3, it's sort of just been a downward spiral to the ground. Episode 5 was enticing only if for no other reason than the you know who tease. Okay, but and Josh Segarra. Any episode that Josh Segarra is in, I love. But yeah, episode 6 was a solid 2.5 out of 5, and episode 7 was a 2.75 out of 5. Not really working with much right now. She-Hulk has kind of been a letdown. I think it's the least strongest show of all the shows that Marvel has done, including Miss Marvel, which I still haven't seen the season finale for. I know, don't at me. But yeah, which sucks because I was really looking forward to this show and it being really, really good. And right now, it's just, it's okay. You know, it's not terrible. It's not a bad show by any means, but it could be so much more than what it's given. So hopefully they can do something in these last 2 episodes that are just mind blowing out of the water. But at the rate we're going, I don't see that happening. And I think, honest to God, the only thing that can save the show is you know who. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, figure it out, because there are just certain things that I cannot spoil. You know, I'm practicing for the day when it comes, when, you know, Marvel does get me on the phone and is like, yo, we want you to be Miles Morales. Absolutely. I can keep a secret. I'm not Mark Ruffalo or Tom Holland. I can do better. And then watch me like spoil something really big about the movie. Yeah, his dad dies. I mean, just kidding. That would suck. Imagine I actually did lump myself in with Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo as spoiling something, right? But then they just choose to fire me. You know how shady that would be? I mean, come on, bro. How many times has Mark Ruffalo said something drastic about an Avengers movie and he's still got a job? You know what I mean? Like, cut me some slack, Marvel. Cut me some slack. But anywho, that's enough of this episode. Let me know your thoughts about She-Hulk. How do you think the show is going? Do you like it more than I do? Do you like it less than I do? Do you like it just about the same? Is it doing something for you? Are you excited to see you know who eventually? That kind of rhymed. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Please like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Okay? Hit that notification bell, please. Because it helps me know who is actually rocking with the content and who isn't. And then it helps me figure out what content I do need to be putting out there for y'all. So please hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss a video, right? A lot of you talk about how you don't know when I'd be uploading. Well, if you hit the notification bell and subscribe to my channel, you wouldn't have to worry about figuring it out, because YouTube would just tell you. They would send you a notification saying, hey, JCENT posted an episode of The Verdict. You should go watch it. And then you go and watch it. And then you like it. You subscribe over again if you haven't already. You share the video with everybody that you possibly can and be like, yo, let me put you on this amazing podcast by my homie, the man of the hour, Judge Cantrell. And then you comment down below about your favorite part in the episode. And then you comment again saying how great of a job I'm doing. Because I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Yeah, we're out of here. I will see y'all next time on The Verdict.